Joel loved this song so much he played every single solitary instrument on the track. Drums, bass, all of it. He would not let anyone else touch it. There are background singers on it. It's the same band on Justin McMahon's album. That was sort of the connection there. But this, whereas the first thing was this very sort of gentle lullaby of like, it's gonna be okay. The second thing was the rage scream of like, but what about me? You know, which is a thing, it's weird for parents to think. So I had to put "But What About Me" into a song so that I didn't scream it at the kids. So have you ever seen the movie Looper? Mm-hmm. All right. All right. In Looper, she can't get mad because her kid legitimately could have the power, like the superpower, to kill her if she gets him riled up. Oh. And so she goes out into the yard where there is a stump, and she goes out with an axe and just hacks at this thing. And at some point, one of the other characters is like, why don't you just like pull it out or get a chainsaw or whatever? There are a million other ways to do this. And she never really explains it. But during the pandemic, I suddenly understood that deeply. And my equivalent was, there was a garden in the backyard that had grown over for 10 years. And it had grown over with something called pokeweed. Who is familiar with what pokeweed is? Oh, this is great. We're gonna have like, you can tell people you went to a folk show and you got educated. If you've ever heard about poke salé, pokeweed in Appalachia and like in Maryland especially, I actually knew people growing up my age who were poor enough to eat pokeweed. And the reason you need to be poor enough to eat pokeweed is that the leaves are so toxic, you have to boil and leach them out 3 times to make them edible. But if you do that, they are very nutrient dense and it grows wild everywhere. The berries are magenta shock pink, and we would like draw on rocks with them when we were kids. And apparently Dolly Parton used to use it as lipstick, which is also problematic because again, it's extremely toxic. The thing I learned about this during pandemic when I thought, I will dig up the garden and reclaim it from the pokeweed, is they also call it the resurrection plant. And the reason they call it the resurrection plant is because the seeds will stay viable for 40 years. And when they grow, they make like a big, ugly tuber baby that is like the size of a newborn child. And then they throw runners out 6 feet in every direction. And when I went out to start to dig up the garden, I thought there were 2 of them. There were 7. And I went out with a shovel, because I didn't know any better, to take my rage out on the garden so that I would not scream at the kids. And people started to come and watch because they were bored. And so that's how I met my neighbors. Like, women walking their dogs would like be like, you know, as I'm in there just, you know, trying to do this. And eventually they would come and stand around. Eventually they came and brought me snacks while they stood around. And finally they started to bring me tools. Like my next door neighbor went, this is what you're actually going to want. And it was one of those like weed thingies that breaks them up so that you don't hurt yourself. Because at this point my hands were like bloodied. It took me 20 hours to dig the garden out. But I did not scream at the kids.
Too tired.
That's the point. So this was the song that is a big rockin' number on the album. That was my personal rage scream about that. So imagine lots of electric guitars and stuff. Did I get my 15 minutes? Was that fame? Hard to tell what it is, or is it? 'Cause it went as soon as it came. Did I blink and miss it? A nice place to visit if you can play the game. But all I play is this guitar, and so far when loose is the same. anyone sing as much as we want at the kitchen sink. La da da da. La da da da. Hometown hero, I said it with derision. I wanted more. So much time spent building madly. Building what? I'm not even sure, but I sure look busy. Spinning all that within my cage. Rocking a chair, going nowhere. Digging holes in the garden to bury my rage. Every dream stops and I'm true. You can't accept, can't break through. But I hear that anyone sing as much as we want while we're shoveling. Could have been, should have been, who we knows anymore. The hunger, the fire, did it all die? So just pile up in the clothes on the floor. And if it's all gone, who am I and what am I for? 'Cause every dream stops dead out of control. You can't accept, can't break through. But I hear that anyone sing as much as we want while we're straightening things. I hear that let me sing at the local bar for a free drink. I hear that anyone sing, anyone sing.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.